Welcome to Hampton Bays Elementary School. At this time, I'd like to ask all please stand. Sergeant of Arms, please present the colors at this time.
Color guard, tan hook, rifle, right shoulder, honk. Forward, honk.
Breathe in, honk.
Detail, honk. Left or right face. Breathe in, off.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Rifleman, right shoulder, honk. Left or right face. Forward, honk. Detail, honk. Fall back.
Please be seated. Welcome to our annual Veterans Day observation, also our Veterans Flag raising ceremony. We're very happy to have you all today at Hampton Bays Elementary School. I'd like to thank our 4th grade team for putting together an incredible assembly today with our musical director, Mr. Polera, and our fabulous PTA for doing so much today to make sure we have a great day. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce the man who brought the flag raising to Hampton Bays Elementary School, our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Lars Clemson.
Good morning. Isn't it great to hear the power of the 4th grade say the Pledge of Allegiance, everyone? Let's give them a round of applause for leading leadership. And I say leadership for fourth graders because they're the leaders of this school. This school ends in fourth grade, and at the end of this year, they'll make the trek across the parking lot to Hampton Bays Middle School. And so we rely on our fourth graders from the very first day of school to lead and set the right example for the rest of our students. And how do we do that? Right after school begins, what do we recognize as a country? September 11th. Right? And these students aren't in school more than an hour before our great fourth grade team is engaged with them in essay writing and poetry writing and learning about that day. So I say leaders because that's what they are. We are going to hear from this fourth grade class, the class of 2032, if you can imagine that, the class of 2032. We're going to hear from them today, sharing some of their best writing that is representative of how great all of these fourth graders are. And our musical director, Mr. Polero, has prepared some patriotic music and presentations for you as well. I want to welcome you on behalf of the Hampton Bays Public Schools and the elementary school, who are always our hosts at ceremonies like this. Today is our 78th Veterans Flag Ceremony since November of 2011. Long before 2011, we gathered on Flag Day, and we gathered on Veterans Day, and we gathered on or around September 11th to recognize our veterans and our first responders and those who made the ultimate sacrifice. But in 2011, we had the thought, why are we only doing it in those moments? Why are we only reserving a thank you to our veterans for Veterans Day? Why are we not taking the opportunity to learn from our neighbors who are with us, who serve in our community, who go to the beach, who shop at King Cullen, who go to the post office? Why are we not taking that opportunity to invite them into school and say thank you and present them with the United States flag that it flies for a month at Veterans Flag Ball? So you are part of the living classroom today. You're part of the 78th living classroom in the Hampton Bays schools. And on Veterans Day, the fourth grade always hosts that event. I want to welcome this morning members of the American Legion Hand Aldrich Post 924 and the Post Ladies Auxiliary American Legion Hand Aldrich Post, members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 5350 in West Hampton, and members of our first responders, law enforcement agencies, and active military personnel who are here today. But first, I'd like to ask if you are a veteran who has served the United States, please stand. We gather here to say thank you. Thank you. If you're a member of active law enforcement or first responder organizations that serve and protect our community, please stand. And if you are a member of active military personnel, whether that is at Gabreski or at the Coast Guard Station or somewhere else, and you happen to be with us, thankfully, today in Hampton Bays, please stand. So as the fourth graders are role models for Hampton Bays Elementary School, you all are role models for our students across the district. And that's why the living classroom is important to us. Again, this is the 78th time that we have gathered to say thank you. And when you look back on the when you look at the backside of your program here, you see names that started, that go back as far as World War II. Some of the veterans who we have the opportunity to say thank you to in person here are no longer with us. And we remember their stories and their biographies. And today, you'll meet a new friend. Not really a new friend. I'm not going to call him an old friend. I'll call him a longtime friend. Billy Hughes, who is our honored veteran today. And inside your program is Billy's story. And if you go on to our website, the Hampton Bay Schools website and click the American flag, you'll read all 78 biographies. It's become quite a compilation, an 80-page book of sorts that tell the story of Hampton Bay's veterans who have served our nation across the world, around the globe, but live and serve and enjoy our Hampton Bays community with us. So today, we will present a new friend with a flag. This flag will fly at Veterans Flagpole. Veterans Flagpole was dedicated right out here on Pompark Avenue in memory of John Kuchar. John Kuchar was a Hampton Bays alum from the class of 1968, passed away, made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country in Vietnam. A few winters ago, our old flagpole snapped right in half, and it was our veterans organizations that said, let's get a new, beautiful flagpole put up, and we'll dedicate that in John's memory. So we will gather after today's ceremony right outside. We'll send our fourth graders back to class, where each of the classes will be visited by a veteran who will talk about their service in the military. And those who want to join us, please come outside on a gorgeous day like this to raise the flag in honor of Billy Hughes. Now, we've brought a flag down this morning that has flown since Flag Day for Mr. Mike McAndrews. So each month for 78 times we have gone through this cycle. That flag flies proudly every day. It's lit, so it flies 24 hours a day. And then the next time we have a ceremony, it comes down and it is ceremonially presented to our veteran, and then the next flag goes up. This ceremony feeds itself, and it has for 12 years now. And you coming makes it even more special. What I'd like to do before we begin our flag ceremony is ask Mrs. McNamara, our fourth grade team leader, to bring up her readers who are going to introduce you to Billy Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to Hampton Bays. Our students are excited that you all are here today so we can honor you. All across the fourth grade, we've been very busy learning about veterans, armed forces, the branches of the military, and most importantly, the sacrifice that goes into being a part of the military. Before we get started, I would like to take a minute to thank our wonderful PTA moms over there. They did put out a beautiful hospitality table, so please feel free to grab coffee, tea, and some snacks. I'd also like to thank the fourth grade teachers and the faculty and staff who were able to decorate the gym beautifully today, so thank you for that. And a special thank you to our friends at the American Legion. Last week, the fourth graders took a walking field trip down to the Legion, and we met with some members down there. And we looked at the memorial, and we heard their personal stories. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you to Pam Ryan and the Ladies Auxiliary for the poppies that we are all wearing today. So thank you. And last but not least, thank you to the administration for always supporting this very important program for our veterans and as well as our students for learning about this today. So we're going to start with the biography for Mr. William Hughes.
The American flag flies from Mr. William Bailey Hughes. The Hampton Bays Public Schools proudly honors Mr. William Bailey Hughes. William was born in Bayside, Queens in 1950. He attended Bayside High School, class of 1968, and did well academically and played football as, in his words, a second-string heavy. Billy does hold the distinction of being the one second-string player on the team to get the better of the future NFL professional linebacker from a competing team for only one time. After graduation, Billy worked for the New York Telephone Company as a cable splicer and was a member of the Communications Workers of Medical Union. In 1969, in the height of the This assignment was the catalyst for a momentous decision he was about to make that changed his life for the foreseeable future. At basic, Billy was introduced to the elite Air Force Pararescue. Para is the abbreviation for parachute specialty teams. He was intrigued and they recruited him instead of basic training. He was now involved in the most intensive, advanced, and difficult training of a pararescue airman. His training consisted of a physical exam, including swim tests that would make the Navy jealous, airborne jump school at the U.S. Army base at Fort Benning, medical school, and first aid training at the Shepherd Air Force Base, survival school at the Fairchild Air Force Base, U.S. Army Mountain Ranger School, pararescue school at the Florida Air Force Base, jungle survival school in the Philippines. In addition to specialties, he was trained in leadership and command responsibilities as a non-commissioned officer. At the completion of his training, he was given a month's leave and then transferred to active rescue service in Southeast Asia in support of the Vietnam War, including missions to rescue downed American bombers in Laos, South Vietnam, North Vietnam, and Thailand. So it's a tremendous amount of responsibility for an Air Force flight surgeon before, and his mission sometimes include battling with enemy troops in the middle of rescue. In 1972, Billy was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross, 4 air medals in the Vietnam service, and commanders. Billy was then transferred stateside to Peace Air Force Base in New Hampshire, where he participated in civilian rescue operation and was promoted to staff surgeon. In 1974, he was honorably discharged and returned home to work for New York Telephone. In 1975, he returned to the military in the New York Air National Guard and established the new 102 Air Rescue and Recovery Service at the West Hampton Air Base. His responsibility included training airmen in pararescue and multi-crew military operations to be combat ready at a moment's notice. He participated in the U.S. International Rescue Operation until 1991, when he retired as a senior master surgeon. While in the Pacific Rescue missions, he calls for medical treatment and eventually airlift of a Russian sailor during the Cold War, who was spying on the U.S. off of Long Island. Several phone calls between Moscow and Washington made this one of the first U.S. Russian detective activities. In 1981, Billy joined the Hampton Police Department and retired as Lieutenant in Washington. In 1982, he married his wife Linda, and they have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. He is a faculty chair and was in a school secretary. Billy is the post commander of the West Hampton All-American Coastal Veterans of Foreign Wars and an active member of Hampton Bay's American Legion. The designation of All-American Post recognizes his post as one of the best in all 50 states. After all of these years, he is still physically active and can be seen participating in triathlons and Ironman contests.
The Hampton Bays Public Schools recognizes William Billy Hughes for his commitment to his country, family, and our community. In his honor, we proudly raise the flag this month.
The VFW has a saying, right, Billy? No one does more for vets. And I think as commander, we would agree as a community, no one does more for the VFW. Just yesterday, Billy and his committee were evaluating essays for our Patriots Pen and our Voice of Democracy essay contest, which gives sixth graders and high school kids the opportunity to write on topics of patriotism and democracy and sacrifice to our country and what America means. And it's always a little booster shot in our arm to see those essays, right? That we don't believe in kids these days. We believe in kids these days and what the future holds for them. And so your advocacy for our kids brings scholarships, brings opportunities, and brings positive experiences to them. So we thank you, Billy. We're going to hear shortly from our elected officials who I will introduce, and we're always proud to have them in partnership with us. And I use the word partnership because that's really what it is. In order to have a district like the Hampton Bays School District to provide opportunities for our kids, it takes the PTA, it takes our amazing faculty and staff and leadership team, and it takes our elected officials from Town Hall in Southampton all the way to Congress in Washington, and we're thankful to have them here. So look forward to introducing them to you in just a moment, but what I'd like to do is call upon the VFW to begin our formal flag ceremony.
Sir, it is an honor and a privilege to present to you this flag, which has flown on the Veterans Flagpole in your name, for your service, for your country and your community. Congratulations. It is an honor and a privilege to present to you this flag, which will be flown on the Veterans Flagpole in your name for your service to your country, your community, the American Legion, and the VFW. We're very proud of you.
I'll ask Mrs. McNamara to join me back here again as we present Patriot essays and poems that our fourth graders have presented.
Back again. As Mr. Clemenston said, we are busy as soon as the school year starts, off and running with Patriots Day and then moving into Veterans Day. So I would like to introduce some of the students who wrote poems or essays or letters for your enjoyment today. So thank you again for coming. We're going to start with Maynard Martinez from Mr. Mash's class.
Good morning, everyone. Acrostic for Veterans Day. The very important people fighting for our freedom. E. Every November 11th we celebrate Veterans Day. T. There are 5 branches of the military. E. Every veteran deserves respect. R. Red poppy became a symbol of World War I. A. All veterans work for the military. N. noble men and women defending our country. S. So many reasons to thank our veterans for their service. D. Don't disrespect our veterans. A. Armistice was signed to end World War I. Why? You can do so many things to honor a veteran. Thank you, veterans.
From Mrs. Ferguson's class, we have Bradley Nieto.
Dear veterans, thank you for protecting our country. Also, you're very brave. I think Veterans Day is interesting. Here are some facts I learned about this special day. First, Veterans Day used to be called Armistice Day. Another fact is that the newest branch is called the Space Force. Lastly, we thank our veterans in every day and every way. As you can see, we should always thank them for keeping us safe and risking their lives just to keep us safe. Thank you for your service.
Mr. Fritz's class, we have Sophia Elizondo.
Veterans Day is a day to honor people that served our country. Also, veterans are people that sacrificed their lives for our country and our freedom while in the military. There is one veteran that I know in my family, and it's my uncle. His name is Mario, and he is in the Air Force and the U.S. Army. Veterans are important because they served in the military and sacrificed their lives for our country, and we should be very thankful. A way that we can honor veterans is that we can wear red, white, and blue on this Veterans Day at school or in public, really anywhere. The branches of the military are Coast Guard, U.S. Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, and Space Force. I think that Space Force is the most interesting piece. I do not know what things take, and I'm curious. As you can see, I know a lot about veterans.
From my class, Lena Consiglione.
What is a hero? A hero is someone who is courageous. When someone is courageous, it means they're willing to sacrifice themselves for other people. Another thing that makes a hero is being determined. Determined is when you set your mind to something and you stick with it. Here, another thing that makes a hero is being bold, because you need to be bold to make yourself clear in the way. When you master a lot, what do you get? You get a better, a braver, stronger human being. Yes, that's right, you get a better. As you can see, veterans are heroes. They're the bravest people who will ever be.
From Miss Payton's class, we have Evelyn Marquez.
Veterans. Veterans are very important people in our lives. They serve in the military to protect our country, towns, schools, and neighborhoods. Risking their own lives, veterans continue to make our world a safer place. The freedoms that we know and enjoy are due to the hard work that veterans provide every day. Many veterans have gone to war to fight for our freedom. They sacrifice time with their families and leave behind jobs and other important details in their lives. We recognize the importance of our veterans and want them to know that they are loved and appreciated.
From Miss Renna's class, Luciana Hanna.
Dear parents, thank you. You are good people. Thank you for helping the United States. All of the participants to fight for our country. Thank you for protecting us. And dear our middle and the rest of this special day. Thank you for being during difficult times. Happy Veterans Day with respect and admiration. Veterans Day is an American holiday when we honor and remember all of the soldiers that have sacrificed for our freedom. Veterans Day is celebrated on November 11th with parades and ceremonies. On Veterans Day, we say thank you to the members of the 5 branches of the military for protecting us. Every soldier in the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Marines are our heroes. Today, we want to honor the soldiers that have served our country throughout the years. Happy Veterans Day.
So these are fourth graders, so you might be reading some of their Patriot Pen essays when they're in high school.
Plug for future scholarships, Billy. Like that. So I'm mindful that our fourth graders, I can feel their energy behind me to sing and perform for you today. But first, I want to introduce our friends in elected government who, again, are our partners in telling our Hampton Bay story and making sure we have the resources and policies in place that allow us to do the work in our community every day. I'd like to introduce to the microphone our friend New York State Assemblyman Fred Field.
Good morning, everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here. First and foremost, I want to say thank you and to all of our veterans that are here today, that stood up before, and all of our active military personnel that are in the audience. We remember our veterans today and the sacrifices that they made, in many cases disrupting their lives to protect us and to serve our country. Remember our veterans, that's what's on the sign up there, and it gives me an opportunity today also. Even at the age of 70, we're still proud of my dad. And my dad's not here anymore, but I still remember him, and I remember his service during World War II in Europe, part of the Battle of the Bulge, and as a recipient of a Purple Heart. So I want to remember my dad today also. I want to thank the Hampton Bay School District for this program that they've had for so many years now. I can't believe that this is the 78th flag ceremony that we're having. And as Superintendent Clemenson says, it is the living classroom. It reminds us of history and our history, and that it's not just something in a book. But it also tells us that our heroes aren't really on a movie screen or a football field or a video game. They are amongst us. They are our neighbors, our family, and that is certainly true today in the case of Billy Hughes, who we are honoring today. And I've known Billy for more than 40 years. Billy started with the Southampton Town Police Department in 1981, and I started as the town attorney in 1982, and that's when I first got to know Bill. His service is exemplary, and not just military service. The word really is service. He has served this community, not just as a police officer, but across the community. And I can say that there is no individual that I've ever met in all my years as a public official that has been a greater and more consistent and persistent advocate for veterans and for the military. He is everywhere in this community advocating for veterans. His work with the VFW and the service organizations is well known. He is always in contact with me with regard to legislation in Albany. We've gotten a couple of bills passed for veterans. We're working together. It is my pleasure certainly to join the Hampton Bay School District in honoring Bill Hughes today. And it's my pleasure to present him with a citation from the New York State Assembly, honoring him for this achievement here today. Congratulations.
This Friday at the American Legion at 11 a.m., the Post will hold a Veterans Day ceremony and recognition. Starts promptly at 11, and I believe 10:30 the doors open. Our community is welcome to participate and take another opportunity to thank our veterans. Saturday, excuse me. Don't show up on Friday. Nobody will be there. Pam, maybe you'll be there just in case. Councilwoman Cindy McNamara represents us across the canal at Town Hall, and I'd like to welcome her to the mic.
So I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to get up this morning, but this is exactly where I need to be. I needed this reminder of why I do what I do, and I do what I do because of you, and I'm able to do what I do because of all of you. And I want to say thank you. You've heard about the veteran Billy Hughes. I want to talk about my friend Billy Hughes. I've gotten to know Billy pretty well in the past few years. And I can't imagine that, I didn't understand how we got to number 78 without having a Billy Hughes Day. Billy does more for our veterans in this town than a lot of people do. And it's not just our veterans, he helps at our church and our civics and, you know, our different organizations that help all of us. And without people like Billy, and I've seen this across the board when I did the Hometown Heroes Banner program, you start in the service, but your service doesn't end in the service, you continue on. And the leaders in our community and the people that fund and really keep our service organizations going are our veterans and our first responders. And it's that call to service, I think, that follows you through your life. And it inspires me to do what I do. And I want to thank you all again. And I want to honor my friend Billy Hughes and say thank you.
We have several representatives with us today who I'd like to invite to present their certificates and proclamations to Billy. Representing Congressman Nick Lalata, who represents us in Washington, D.C., District Director Francis Martin. Mr. Martin is United States Navy retired, and he'll be joining our fourth grade upstairs to talk about his service in the military. Also, who represents us in Albany, New York State Senator Anthony Palumbo. His schedule unfortunately prevented him from being here this morning, but our friend, Legislative Director Alex Piccirillo, is here to honor Billy.
Good morning, everyone. Just quickly, I want to just recognize Superintendent Clemenson real fast, as today is Veterans Day and we recognize Commander Hughes. It's because of people like Superintendent Clemenson where we can gather together and the kids are shown respect and gratitude and they're doing the right thing, and programs like this is so important. On behalf of Senator Anthony Palumbo and the entire 1st Senatorial District, we'd like to thank you for your sacrifice and your service, and please accept this proclamation on behalf of Senator Palumbo. Thank you.
And behind us, I welcome Legislative Director to Suffolk County, Legislator Bridget Fleming, and Town Councilman-elect Michael Iasili. Thank you for being here as well. Legislator Fleming indicated she couldn't be able to, she's going to track you down sometime this afternoon with her proclamation. So she'll be in Hampton Bays looking for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth graders have worked hard with their musical director, Mr. Polero, to present the musical performance. They have waited patiently and have been agile and bent like the willow. And I'd like to have Mr. Polero come to the podium and present the fourth graders to you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Veterans Day in advance. Congratulations to Mr. Hughes. I went to school with his daughter, so this is an honor for me as well. And what you're going to see the fourth graders perform is the military marches. I apologize, we don't have the Space Force song ready, but next year it will be part of our presentation. So we will have the 5 main branches. Also, we invite you to stand with the fourth graders when your branch is called. past to present, and we would love to honor you, and the students would love to see who they have been taught to honor here. So we are going to start with the Army. Please stand.
The
we have one more addition to the program. We're going to have the fourth grade sing God Bless America. Feel free to join in on the second refrain there. The fourth grade, please stand. Eyes on me. Thank you all very much.
Wow, what a talented group of fourth graders. How about one more round of applause? Thank you, Mr. Valero. Just two housekeeping items before we leave. Number one, we are going to ask that we get all the students safely back to their classrooms before anyone exits the gym. And secondly, again, as Mr. Clemenson had said, we would like to invite everybody to raise the flag for Mr. William Hughes in front of the school. So anyone like to come out for our flag raising to the front of the school, we would love to have you. At this time, I'd like to ask everybody to please stand. Sergeant of Arms, please retire the colors at this time.
Color guard, Ted Hook. Right shoulder, arm. Forward, bump. Detail, halt. Left or right face. Flagman, retrieve colors. Left or right face. Forward, bump.
Present, pump!
Detail, halt.
Order, pump!
Thank you for coming and have a great day.